What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. So today we got an update on the Maniac, and today we found out that Indianapolis Colts All-Pro linebacker Darius Leonard has officially had back surgery as of this morning on June 7th. So this one was very interesting, Cody, for a couple reasons. One, for the fact that I would say for me personally, I did not expect this because I did not hear anything that was looming about his back, which was kind of a strange thing. We've been talking a lot about the ankle over the last thing here. We'll talk about that here for a little bit as well during this video. But nevertheless, he did have back surgery today. Darius Leonard tweeting out just an hour before we recorded this, saying surgery went really well. And a couple other people mentioned that as well. Says he feels amazing. Can't wait to get back going. Says, if you know me, I always come back way better than I was. Let's go. Ankle feels amazing as well. Can't wait to get back moving. And I think a couple other people stated that this back surgery is going to keep him out probably towards the beginning of training camp as well. And they said that as the timeline sits right now, there's no question for the Colts that he will be ready when the regular season gets to going around. So, Cody, your initial thoughts on this, and are you a little worried about Darius Leonard having this surgery?
It's funny, Derek. I saw somebody right after that news was broken. They're like, surely Colts Nation will be completely rational about this.
Yeah, right.
And you know how it is. But no, I mean, I think number one, yeah, this was a little bit of a surprise because we all thought if he was going to get surgery, it was going to be on the ankle. That just tells you how, I guess, private Darius Leonard is about this stuff and how private the Colts are typically about this stuff. But I think overall, I'm glad he decided to do it today. I'm glad he decided to do it in June, the beginning of June, as opposed to the middle of July, right? So I think, okay, Darius Leonard's a vet. He's been in the league for a long time. If anybody on this team doesn't need all of training camp, it's probably Darius Leonard because, I mean, this dude with his bum ankle last year, he was forcing turnovers left and right. So this man, even though he was not 100%, was still playing out of his mind. So I think, hey, this is the time to do it. If any time, no time is a great time to get surgery, right? But if there's any time to do it, it's, a month and a half or so before training camp and, even longer than that before the regular season. So yeah, it is a little bit obviously worrisome when you hear surgery of any kind, but I think overall, I'm not really nervous. If he has to miss some time in training camp, I'd rather be safer than sorry. If that means he really doesn't play much of the preseason, that's fine with me. Because if he's out there 100% week one, that's all that matters to me, and it sounds like even though he's going to miss part of training camp, people forget training camp starts at the end of July. So you still have a good, more than a month away from the regular season after that, after the training camp starts. So I think overall, unless things get worse, which we never know, but as it stands right now, I'm not worried about it because I think Darius Leonard knows his body very well. He's typically been a guy that I feel like he's been, for the most part, been able to play through pain. He's also been able to heal pretty well, pretty quickly. Seems like some of those guys that are a little bit younger and a little bit more of those freak athletes, they can come back a little bit earlier. Look at Julian Blackmon, for example, a couple of years ago. So overall, yeah, I mean, it always will be when you hear surgery, your ears will go up to like, what? But I'm not really that concerned regarding this injury. I'm glad he's doing it now as opposed to later on in the offseason where it might actually cost him some real games that matter.
Yeah, I mean, that's what people were saying is, even if he missed part of training camp, like he should be back for when, the games actually matter, right? So, I mean, even if he only has 1 or 2 weeks prior to the season starting, I mean, you're right. Darius Leonard is one of those guys that just like, even with a new defensive coordinator and a new defensive scheme that they're running, and even though he may not be in peak physical shape the moment he gets back on the field doing all that stuff, he seems like the kind of person that you would seem pretty confident that he'd be able to catch up to speed pretty quickly. He's shown that pretty well. And like you said, he's been able to play through pain, play through stuff like that. So I'm not too overly concerned about him missing part of training camp. And I mean, who knows if he's going to miss all of training camp? I heard from some people that he might actually only miss like the first week or two. that might be the thing. It really just depends on how long he rehabs with the back surgery itself. But again, like they said, surgery went really well, so that's a good thing. It's kind of funny because I was talking about this to myself earlier, Cody, and we'll kind of get into the ankle thing because that's what everybody's been talking about, and we've been saying, I said it at the top of the video that, we expected if he was going to have any surgery, he was going to have it on the ankle because we've been talking about it. Even though he said that surgery was never really an option for him, that was the only thing that people really thought he had an issue with. And he's saying that the ankle's feeling amazing, which is, a lot more than what he let on when he was asked about it several weeks ago, talking about, he's saying, hey, the ankle's still attached, which he's given us that line for like 2 seasons now. So, we're accustomed to him having a little pain in it, but nevertheless, now saying it's feeling better, which is good. I mean, honestly, do you think that this surgery might somewhat be a blessing in disguise in a way for him to be able to take a month and a half off to be able to like recover that ankle, gain some of that strength back into it, and be able to just kind of relax his body and let it rest itself naturally, and maybe gives him a chance to actually be healthy fully when he gets back?
Yeah, and I think it's great news. Darius Leonard even said it. He responded to Pat McAfee. He said it's great news, honestly. So yeah, I think so. I think this is just a great time. I mean, Darius Leonard, never a guy that's going to just sit and unless he's forced to, and not participate in these things. So could be good for Darius Leonard to just kind of be able to kind of be forced to have to do it a little bit. Honestly, just sit back, relax, get that ankle, get that back to where they need to be. I think it could be a blessing in disguise for Darius Leonard to really have an extended period of rest, something he really hasn't had the last couple off seasons because he is Darius Leonard. He is the maniac. He is crazy. He is out of his mind. But I do think, yeah, Derek, it could be a blessing in disguise for Darius Leonard, and also can give more opportunity as well to some of those younger linebackers behind him, right? I mean, you think probably off the bench, EJ Speed's going to be the guy for the mini camps and for training camp and stuff like that until Darius Leonard is back. So just giving him more of him and guys like him and Zaire Franklin, just more of an opportunity to kind of be that other linebacker, right? And kind of see what they have. I mean, we saw a little bit in that Arizona game, but just giving those young guys some more opportunities to grow into the positions, I think could be good as well. But strictly from a Darius Leonard standpoint, I do think it could be a blessing in disguise for him because he does need to be 100% because we haven't seen him 100% for a couple seasons now, Derek.
And yeah, he's been as good as he has been with
exactly
that kind of stuff.
And you do wonder, like, if he is 100%, could he be even better than he has been? Which is a crazy thing to think about because how crazy was he last year and forcing those turnovers and stuff, So I don't know. I'm excited for this, for Darius and what that could do for his body moving forward. But obviously the surgery, that word, just a terrible word altogether. So we'll see what happens with this. But at this point in time, I'm not worried about Darius Leonard and the ankle. I think it could be, like you said, potentially a good thing for him moving forward and for his longevity in the league and things like that.
And this tweet also might give some added bonus to that thought that you just mentioned there, Cody, because Stephen Holder just tweeted an hour ago as well, stating that the Colts didn't describe the exact nature of Leonard's back injury, but it was explained to Stephen as something doctors have been trying for a while to get to the bottom of. And when they finally did, they viewed it as very fixable. That's what they said. So apparently this has been like something that's been bugging him a little bit for a while. And the doctors have been trying to get a grasp of what it was that was bothering him at the beginning. But now they said with this surgery and what they've done to it, says that Steven's saying that the doctors feel that it was a very fixable situation for him and that it could be good for him going forward in the long term. So that's a great thing to hear. It's one of those, you don't hear a lot of people talk about being very fixable situations when it comes to your back. Because when you hear things like that, you're thinking, oh man, there's going to be long-term back problems when something like that occurs. But when the doctors find something to fix that situation, feels a lot better going into it. So Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm not entirely worried at this moment about Darius Leonard. Like I said, he's going to have a month and a half to kind of tone it back a little bit, be able to get his body healed up and ready for training camp when eventually he gets to that point. But let us know in the comments, guys, what you think of this Darius Leonard surgery news. Let us know how you're feeling about it. But until next time, guys, thank you so much. And as always, go Colts.